everybody? Welcome to the Seek Outside podcast. Today is Thursday, July 31st, and thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. We're going to get the episode going here with the DST tarp drawing here. Again, thank you guys so much for participating. We only have a few weeks left of this.
Well, that is true.
Only a few podcast episodes, so I guess like...
Is it three episodes after this?
Yeah.
Three more episodes to win.
So get it in. I do think most of the people that have been dropping a lot of comments have won so far. So
that is true. Yeah.
But no, thank you guys for jumping in. For anybody that's just listening, this is how it goes. Basically, jump on the YouTube channel, make sure you're subscribed, and comment on the video. You get 10 comments on each podcast episode, and every week we go through and select the winner of the participating comments, and you get a free DST tarp. Going through September 21st-ish, somewhere around there, whenever we get swamped for hunting season, whenever we start going out.
Yep.
Which is coming up quick now. It's awesome. But yeah, let's get into it here. Let's see who we have as a winner. We're going to do this. I should say, episode today. Interview is going to be Caleb Hobbs from Ursi Gear. He makes outdoor gear, hunting apparel, a really awesome jacket that I've had the chance to use over the last few months here, going back to turkey season and all that. So we're going to talk with him about, just making outdoor clothing and his process. We're going to do our happy hour, and then we're going to be talking about some first aid stuff. We had a good comment that spawned us, to talk about some first aid gear and what we have in there. But without further ado, let's get into the DST drawing here. So we had 45 comments. Basically, I'm just going to hit the random number generator and count down. So we got 30. So we're going to go 15.
Right in the middle.
Let's see. All right. We got our winner. It's Lane Will Height with the comment, I typically backpack hunt 5 to 7 days, hike in a ways. Congratulations. You're the winner. Love to see it. Woo! Congratulations. DST tarp. We are, just a heads up for anybody participating, there is a little bit of a lead time on these things. We're putting the orders in. If you've won one, it might take a second just because this is our busy time of year.
And we've had more orders for DST tarps than I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. The DST tarp is popping. We started selling stuff on Amazon, and I wonder if that's it, because we sell I don't know, 15 or 20 DST tarps on Amazon every month alone. So that's another thing you could do if you're looking to purchase one and you need it quick.
Stock.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Now, there's a little bit more expensive on there. That's what you have to pay to get it speedier. But if you need one for a trip coming up here, that's what you should do. Check that out. But congratulations, Lane Will Height. Lane Will Height, you won. Hit us up, podcast@seekoutside.com or info@seekoutside.com. Address, email, all that good stuff, and we'll get this put in for you. We're going to move on to talking about some first aid gear, so stick with us.
Welcome to the Seek Outside podcast.
And you think that's bad? You see Ryan on the phone in the office.
Some people are just wired that way.
Mr. Owen Tim.
Mr. Ryan Sapina.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. That's not really Thursday.
It's Tuesday, but let's just pretend it's Thursday.
I'd be happier if it were Thursday.
It would. Us at Seek Outside, we work 410s, right? We always have 3-day weekends. That's an important part of our company, is to be able to enjoy your weekend. You get that extra day. But we are spoiled. Like, I don't go into a job with, 5 days a week, even though you're working the same amount of hours.
Terrible.
It would change me.
It would crush me.
Like, I can't imagine having to work on a Thursday and not like knowing that the next day you can
just
do
off,
something fun.
Chilling. It's nice. It is nice.
I think it definitely makes some people mad this time of year. That's for sure. Just because they're looking to get their stuff. But I will say this time of year we put in a lot of work trying to seam seal and stuff on the weekends. But
yeah,
it's
we do come in and start working, past Thursdays during the busy season. But a lot of the reason we have the 3-day week is number one, happier employees.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, people get to use the product. More time to use the product.
Yep. That's why we got the best customer service team in the world, baby.
Dang right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited to talk about what we're talking about today. We had a great comment from, I believe it was Jacob Gustamonte, commented asking kind of about our first aid stuff. And I was just in Oregon over the weekend, and we did some hiking and stuff like that. And I got out there, and we went on this hike in the redwoods near the Smith River. And, you're walking down this trail, and it's just poison oak everywhere on the sides.
Disgusting.
And I've heard that about California a lot. And it just got me to thinking, my first aid kit is probably a lot different than people across the country, right? It's probably very regional. So if you have anything that's like regionally specific, let us know in the comments. But I was just thinking, we're so freaking spoiled here in Colorado because, barely any, and we've talked about this before, but this was another thing that made me appreciate it. Barely any, you have some rattlesnakes, but not many. No grizzlies, no ticks.
No ticks.
There are some ticks in certain places, and then no poison ivy. Like I was walking down the trail, and I was like, "Oh, I could just bushwhack down to the river right now." And then I looked down, and I was like, "No, there's no way." Like
you get smoked.
You have to be on a trail.
You get so smoked.
Do you react pretty poorly to poison oak or poison ivy?
I've grown up my whole life in Colorado, so I've never even touched it.
Yeah. See, because we do have...
Or maybe I don't. I've been in places that have poison oak. I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So maybe I have touched it, and I don't even know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I have this, and I thought about trying it this weekend in Oregon, but we were going to be at the beach, and I didn't want to ruin my vacation, because I think that I don't react to it, because there's certain places here in Colorado that I will, in the summer fishing or whatever, you just walk through whatever brush you see, and you don't even think about it. I've also been in those same places at certain times, and I've been like, oh, there's some poison ivy. Now I think it's very sparse here, or I think it's poison oak, but it also makes me think maybe I just don't react to it. I know that that's a thing out there. Like, some people don't have a reaction to it. Some people, it messes them up.
That would be sick. It's
like
nice to be immune.
Yeah. Especially if you're out there in California or Oregon, where there's a ton of it.
Yeah.
It's a superpower.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it got me thinking about first aid kits and all that stuff. Before we get into that, I did want to give a shout out. I don't think last time we had this video live, but we do have a video backpacking and pack raft fishing remote high country Colorado lakes for cutthroat trout in Colorado. such a long title.
Yeah.
Clickbaity, you have to do
keyworded.
But anyway, a new expedition video based on a trip that I just recently took to the Southern Rockies here in Colorado, doing some fishing. Brought a pack raft up there, which was fun. Did some, I ended up forgetting my shoes, my hiking boots.
Basically forgot everything.
Yeah. You won't see it in the video because I couldn't admit it to the amount of people that were going to watch the video, but did forget every single stake for both of our tents. I had a ground squirrel chew a hole in my sleeping pad. They were getting into everything.
That's just that's a classic Ryan situation. For you guys who don't know Ryan, he always
except for that's not true. I usually am bringing the extra stuff for you. I usually am. But when I forget everything.
Everything is gone.
Yeah.
We had a trip that we did in Alaska, and we forgot everything.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Well, you better not be putting that on me.
I said we.
I said we. All right.
We forgot everything. We were leaving nets places. Yeah. It was like we were out to lunch. And ever since then, we've had to make checklists for everything we do.
Yeah.
If we go to a show, complete checklist. Triple checked by everybody. Because for some reason, brain's just out to lunch sometimes.
Well, it's something...
Too many head injuries.
I mean, that's not even my problem, unfortunately. I don't know what it is. I think there's something, and this relates to like when you're going with people, because like this, like on this particular trip, right? I mean, obviously the hiking boots were my thing, and it like that wasn't a big deal. Like I've hiked around. Like I'm not a huge like hiking boot guy, right? A lot of times for day trips and day hikes, I'll just take my regular shoes, so it's not like a necessary thing for me. The stakes, that was definitely something that it's like when you're going with somebody else, right? You, in the back of your mind, sometimes you'll be like, oh, they're gonna get that thing, right? Even though like you could have no conversation with that person, but you'll be like, you know, they'll probably have stakes, so I can. And I wasn't thinking like, oh, he'll have stakes. It was more, I thought that they were in my bag. I had taken them out beforehand. Yeah. And then it's not in your mind to like double check that or bring extras because you're like, oh, this person is probably doing this. And then they're thinking the same thing about you. And that's why you need checklists.
That is why you need a checklist.
That's why you need checklists.
It's true. When I go out on solo trips, I don't usually forget stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm a little bit, don't think somebody else is going to have the stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely part of it. I mean, it's like what we've done with shows before. It's when we have when we go to trade shows and there's like 5 people putting stuff together. That's when you run into issues.
You think that Joe Schmo brought something and then you just can't trust that. You could always bring extras.
Yeah. And that is the nice thing about having a truck or a vehicle. We've talked about that before too. You just throw everything
all of it's in there constantly.
But it doesn't do you any good if it doesn't make it into your backpack.
That is true.
But all right, well, so let's talk about first aid kit.
Enough rambling
here. Yeah, speaking of, this is something that you never want to forget, which I never do. That is the one thing I will always ensure that I have the first aid kit. But it's kind of interesting because everybody has a little, a different way of making theirs. Yeah. You want to start? What are some things that you always bring?
Yeah. I don't really bring a first aid kit.
I knew that was coming.
I should. I usually, I guess in my car I have, Neosporin and some, gauze. But, my first aid kit is I bring a knife. A Leatherman.
For amputation?
Yeah, dude. It's not good. I usually have enough gloves. I feel like I'll pack something. I need to get one.
That's
considering
crazy.
I do a lot of dangerous activities.
That is crazy. And I kind of knew that. I had that set up for you.
There is a factory one in my Lexus. It's not a fancy Lexus. It's a 2004, okay? But there's a one from the factory that's in the back. I've used that one for Band-Aids before.
Yeah. What about your bike? Like your bikes? Do you have a kit that's whether it's a motorcycle or an actual bicycle?
I bring a little bit more stuff on the moto.
Yeah.
Still nothing that's going to save me. And then mountain biking, it's just I'll just die.
Yeah.
I'll just choose death out there.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have that mindset. Maybe it makes you less apt to get injured out there because you're like, I don't have a first aid kit.
I don't know. I should. I should build one up.
I find myself usually using my first aid kit, not as first aid, but like using it for other stuff. So there's a few things that I always keep in there. This is one that you should use. Imodium.
Yeah.
Some diarrhea control.
Yeah, it's a good call. That's a good call.
Maybe you should do that, and like maybe I'll have to put a laxative in there just for the opposite issue. But
yeah.
I do always keep that just in case you get something with water, drink the wrong water or eat something bad out there.
That is a smart idea.
I always keep a cold and flu for 2 reasons. Number 1, if you get sick out there. Number 2, they all have like acetaminophen. So if if you run out of Advil or something like that, at least you'll have a backup if you're really hurting.
That is true.
They all usually help you sleep. So if you're struggling with sleep, I think it's kind of a triple purpose thing.
That's smart.
And then always I keep those little sunscreen packets there, just in case it's real bad.
Sunscreen packets?
Yep. They have those little reusable ones, and I'll use that like sometimes if you forget chapstick or something.
Nice.
Rub it on there.
Nice.
But the big one is like
I should be taking notes.
Yeah, you should. You should.
I'll just re-listen to the podcast.
There you go. The big one though is the athletic tape, and like so athletic tape. Obviously, I'm trying to like. My first aid kit is pretty basic. It's all the stuff that you need, but there are a lot of things that you can use as double use items, and athletic tape is a big one. Because a lot of people like taking duct tape. That's great. Especially if you get a hole in your sleeping pad or something like that. If you have some Gorilla Tape, it works just as well as like a lot of those seam tape patches. But the athletic tape is nice because it doesn't stick to doesn't stick to items. So it's like if you ever have to wrap something together, it just sticks to itself, which you're not getting like all the like Gorilla Tape. Sometimes it's hard to get off. Like I always have some on my trekking pole. Yeah. Then it leaves all that residue on there. Yeah. The athletic tape, it's not that, but you can wrap it around stuff. Like if you ever have to lash 2 trekking poles together for your center pole, like you can use it for that.
True.
So
stretchy though.
It is, yeah. Which is I think is good in some instances. You know, sometimes that's not what you want. You could also use electric tape because that's got a little bit more stick to, like it can actually stick to something. Yeah. Whereas like a lot of the first aid tape, it can only stick to itself. But
my first aid kit is just zip ties.
Zip ties.
I'll just bring zip ties.
Those are a good one.
I have a fuckload of zip ties, a knife, and an Atwood.
Yeah.
50-foot Atwood. Those are that's like always in my pack of some sort.
Yeah.
It's moto, mountain biking.
Just got to bring a needle.
Literally just this. This is my first aid kit. This Atwood. Just
a good way to amputate your own arm if you have to cut off the bleeding.
Yeah, literally. Now I think I'm gonna go after work and go buy a first aid kit. See, I always bring I bring stuff. I just don't have a kit.
So like, what do you do if you cut yourself with a knife?
Not be a bitch.
just bleed all over everything.
Just bleed out. No, so I bring a lot of stuff that, like, if we're talking in a hunting sense, I bring gloves that are like Kevlar that you can't cut through. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to help.
Yeah.
Not cut yourself. Usually have some Neosporin, at least to some level. Yeah. Help keep stuff clean. Other than that, I die.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, dude, I have mooched. I need a kit. If I could build a kit, because this is what I mooch off of people every time, is some kind of like anti-blister chafe, or like just athletic tape and that sort.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, I'm getting a blister or something like that. I need some tape. Mm-hmm. The other thing is anti-chafe cream.
Some baby powder?
Yeah, something. Because Mark will know. On the last big hunting trip I did in New Zealand, I had the worst chafe of my life. Bleeding. I was bleeding. I don't know what it was. I think I wore like a pair of underwear with holes in it.
Yeah.
And my ass was so chafed. It was so bad, dude. I was in near tears. I tried to shower off in the creek. I was like, I showered the day when we went. I was like, I don't understand why I'm so fucking
That's
raw.
hell. That is hell, because that's the type of thing that once you get that going, it's kind of like, for me, having like chapped lips. Like once you get it going, it's hard to come back.
Except chapped lips are mild compared to just bleeding ass.
Sometimes it can be bad if you get it like bad enough to where like when you open your mouth, it's like cracking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But chafing, same thing. Like once, it's almost like you got to maintain that before it gets going. Because once you're chafed, like the baby powder is not going to do anything.
Yeah. There was some chafe cream I was using and it was helping, but I had to sit basically a whole day at camp after I shot my stag because I was like, I need a recovery day. We still got a big giant hike out, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah. So I would definitely put that in my first aid kit, some Band-Aids, blister stuff, Neosporin. Neosporin is God's greatest gift to us.
I use it pretty clutch.
I eat shit on my bike. Mm-hmm. Not all the time, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this giant road rash, deep. Just fill it with Neosporin.
Good to go.
Doesn't really, I haven't died of an infection yet.
I wonder like mountain men and like pioneers.
Oh, they just died.
Well, no, I'm saying if they knew, like, I wonder what they would pick if they could pick one thing from like a modern first aid kit. If they could pick one thing from now to bring it back in the day. What do you think? Would it be Neosporin? I feel like that would probably be the number one thing that would
that'd probably be pretty nice.
Because like I was just listening to the Meat Eater Steve Rinella's book on the mountain men, and he was talking about how like 10% of those dudes basically died. 10% of the mountain men, like, which is a way higher threshold or like percentage of deaths than like military, firefighters, all that stuff nowadays, right? Most of those, like the bad ones, are like 1%, if that.
Yeah.
10% of those dudes were dying, and a lot of them were from like they'd have like a trap went off on their hand, and
infection,
gangrene.
Yeah.
So I think like Neosporin would probably be
some kind of antiseptic. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
For sure. Because you can just get like nasty cuts. Like if you got in an elk, you cut your hand, and what do you do?
Yeah. Like that one guy we knew that was
in the butthole
of
a caribou.
Cut his finger. Yeah.
Cut his finger.
And then, but that did work out for that person specifically because he got to let us pack his animal out and clean it and everything.
Yeah. Lucky dude.
Lucky guy.
Yeah, I'll go to Walmart and build me a cheap one after work.
Yeah,
it's a smart idea.
Yeah.
I think that I try and take precautions to not get hurt, or like if I'm taking the risks, I'm not far from anything. But
yeah.
That being said, you should probably always have one.
Yeah, man.
Okay, my only thing is the Atwood. It's like amputation. Just cut my...
I mean, it's not even a good, like, not really even a good tourniquet, because it doesn't have enough surface area to...
Oh, dude,
to provide.
If you put that around your arm with a twig, dude, you could get that thing so damn tight.
Yeah.
You cut all the blood off.
But it might like cut into you.
Good.
Maybe.
That'll stop the blood.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why I always wear a belt. Make sure to wear a belt.
That's why I always bring a whole bottle of tequila. So if I'm dying, it's time.
Yeah.
Just go out having fun.
That is what they did back then.
Yep.
Just a little whiskey.
I'm deeply a mountain man at heart.
Yeah.
I don't have a care. Let me die in the woods.
That makes me think about one other thing that he mentioned in that book that I thought was insane. You know, like, I feel like nowadays a lot of people are like, you don't, like, you feel bad about drinking, beer out there. I don't know. Like, it's just, people are a lot more cautious of how much they consume alcohol. Back in the day, there was some absurd stat that he read off about like the people, the mountain men or whatever back in the day, and just average person, how much alcohol they consumed.
Yeah.
It was something like 7 gallons a year of alcohol, which it was like 4 or 5 times the amount that most people consume nowadays. So they were hammering alcohol back then because it was the cure for freaking everything.
Yeah.
But, it makes sense. Makes sense why.
Yeah. Seriously. I'd be getting fucked up if I was a mountain man.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wake up, booze. Go to sleep, booze.
Well, but that was the thing. They couldn't. They had to. It was like once a year at the rendezvous. That was the only time they could get their hands on alcohol.
Booze.
Yeah.
A keg. A fucking whiskey.
Well, they do make those backpackable kegs now.
It's true.
So, cool. Well, yeah. So I would definitely like to know how your first aid kits vary, especially depending on the area that you're in. Maybe the New Zealanders have something different than the Texans and Californians and all that. So I think that would be interesting. But we're going to move on to the happy hour real quick and then on to the interview with Caleb. Welcome to the Seek Outside Happy Hour, where we
getting good at this noise.
Yeah, gotta get into. Man, I just forgot the name of it, but there's people that get paid a lot of money just to make sounds with their mouth for movies.
It's good.
You ever seen those guys?
There's also a lot of people get paid a lot of money to do things with their mouth.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, just in general.
That is true. I don't know if necessarily. Well, if you get close enough to the microphone, you might be able to.
I'm buying a house. I need some extra cash. $20.
What that mouth
$20.
What that mouth do? But yeah. Anyway, we talk about some kind of interesting topics that we've seen in that relate to the outdoor world. Today we got a couple of them for you that are kind of interesting. As I would hope every week they are. I don't know. Maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Maybe you just skip past this part.
Just straight to the interview.
I don't care. I think they're interesting. So, Connor's. We're working on him. I'm still kind of, coaching him through.
Yeah, he brings
what good articles.
He brings back some stories.
Yeah, I like it. He came to me today and he was like, yeah, I just can't find that much interesting stuff to talk about. I was like, that's BS. I pull up Outside Magazine and the first one is talking about Bear Grylls and how he's going to be running an underground marathon. So basically,
where his company is, right? Like it's a race.
Yeah. He's putting it on. Like his company is managing it and putting the whole thing on.
It's like 5,000 feet below sea level, or what?
Yeah, they're doing it in
or
a
just
mine.
underground, 5,000 below ground.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it's probably sea level. I thought I saw that they were doing it in New York. Either way, yeah, it's like 5,000 feet below ground in an old mine, and it's not like it's not a true marathon. It's doing like, they're doing laps to get 26 miles. But I initially got Titan submarine vibes from seeing this story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It seems like a bad idea. They're going to have to wear hard hats.
Oh, wow.
They're doing it in an old mine, right?
Yeah.
And there's like the reason why you hear this saying canary in a coal mine is they used to have canaries that would be able to sense when the poison gases were being released.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like the safest spot to do a marathon.
No. I mean, I'm sure they got stuff in there. But if one thing fails, all that could go wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could. And it's just another thing where people nowadays are just doing the most ludicrous stuff to get to the top of the cycle. Bear Grylls he's interesting. I feel like he's kind of changed his I mean, he was always extreme, right? But he's less of a survivor type guy now. Like he just wrote a book about Like it was almost like a self-help book.
Oh, really?
So he's kind of changed his MO. He's leaning into the whole David Goggins type thing.
Gotta make money somehow.
I guess.
And you gotta I think the people doing different things, cash, it's kind of what the world's come to. Like, you have to be so extreme in one way to even get media attention these days because everything is so extreme.
You really do.
Because it's not like, local kid helps fund cookie fundraiser and helps the kids out. Like, nobody wants to hear that. You want to hear that, like, 500 dead in underground marathon running race. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so extreme that I think that's kind of how you got to do it. Like,
no, it is.
Like, if we ever put on like a come camp with us, we're going to be like, it's going to be on top of a 14er, on top of Capitol Peak.
Yeah.
You can only bring...
The only thing you could bring is a tent.
We'll have a 12-man set up.
That's all for 14
And
people.
it has to rain for us to catch water. No water. Extreme.
No filtration.
That would get news headlines.
It would.
Outside Mag would write about that.
For sure. I mean, they most definitely would. I like, you'll be scrolling reels nowadays. I think it's getting a little ridiculous. Which I did watch that Titan submarine documentary. Did you see that at all?
No, I should watch it. I'm Squid Gaming.
It's really good. Well, Squid Game, that's a tough one to put down, but it's interesting, and it made me think about like some of this type of stuff because basically this guy was, an entrepreneur. He had this idea that he was going to make this hull out of carbon fiber, and it was going to be cheaper than anything else out there. It was going to be, they were going to be able to mass produce these submarines, and it wouldn't be super expensive to take people down the Titanic to check out. But he got so set on this idea, and he was such like this, entrepreneurial spirit type guy.
Yeah.
That they were like taking this thing on test runs, and they could hear the hull cracking. And they're not even like going down to the depths that the Titanic was at. They could both audibly like hear them, and they had this acoustic machine that like measured it.
Wow.
So they could see like the micro cracks, or they could hear the micro cracks, but then they'd also be down there, and there would just be like this big pop.
Damn.
And they still continue to do it. So like you have this tendency to think that these companies like test everything out, like especially the big, like a multi-billion-dollar company or $1 million company like this company that this guy worked for. But it's not like America's kind of got a loophole culture. There's always a way to get around
the testing.
Yeah. And that's how this underground marathon held in a zinc mine in Switzerland. An old zinc mine is where they're going to do it. I got to bring safety glasses, high-vis clothes, headlamps, and all in complete silence and darkness. So it's just going to be totally dark. When you see that, first off, it just seems like probably a bad idea, right? It just seems
it sounds like a Spartan race, but like more extreme. Like, because I can't think of anything worse than like running in a hard hat. And like high vis, like already, for us hunters that have to wear the orange vest, they suck. They ruin your clothes. Imagine you run 26 miles in one of those. Yeah. That sucks already. 2, like people go insane in complete darkness and silence. And I would, 26 miles of running.
And you're just doing laps. You're not even like doing a different route.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have any other news to report about this run.
Yeah. And it is 4,300 meters or 4,300 feet below sea level is what it is. So
wow.
The final story that I wanted to talk about, because we were going to talk about like wildfires, but we just had a podcast on that and nobody wants to hear it. But this one was kind of cool. So we're here in Grand Junction. There's actually a decent manufacturing kind of community here. There's a good amount of
there's some cool local companies. I mean, there's us. There's us. No,
there's us. There's the rack company, the bike racks.
Yeah.
There's people that there's a lot of biking stuff.
Yeah, a lot of biking stuff. Like DT Swiss is here, MRP, Canfield Bikes.
Rocky
Mounts, but they left back to Denver.
Okay.
And then there's I want to say it's Goose Gear. Goose Gear just came here. They do like overlanding stuff, and then it's like the Filament or whatever that does they make
line.
Yeah, they make line and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so this I guess I'll just point being there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But there's this company at a Grand Junction here, so we've all been up fishing somewhere, and maybe you're like walking on a trail and you're looking down, and then you get blasted in the head by some fishing line, right? That somebody snagged up and just didn't take home.
Yeah.
That, like most fishing line, it takes sometimes hundreds of years to degrade.
Damn.
And it's gnarly. And I'm sure if you fish a lot, sometimes you'll pull a fish that has
fishing
like
on it.
Yeah, or like up in Alaska, which it's kind of interesting because the salmon are at the end of their life, but you go up like farther up the stream and you'll just see salmon with like crap hanging off of them. It's like they're a Christmas tree, right? They got all these flies, and so it's as much as we all like to boast that it's like, fishing is conservation, which it is. There's definitely aspects of it with like the lead weights and the fishing line that are pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
So this company BioTip out of Grand Junction is making tippet, which is primarily for fly fishing, right? It's the stuff that goes kind of on the end. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more see-through, but that is completely compostable and biodegradable in water and soil within 5 to 7 years. So, we have a huge fishing community around here.
Yeah.
That'd
be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Gunnison River, which I went to a couple weeks ago. Don't ever go there. I got freaking skunked. I hate that river.
We all hate that river now. Just complete skunkage every time.
Every time. Yeah, it's tough. Maybe we're just getting worse at fishing.
I think so. But yeah,
this.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
At least, like, if I think you should still try and pack it out, right?
Yeah.
But if
sometimes you break off and takes your tippet or leader with you, you don't have a choice. And I will say, so I have on my little fishing pack, I have they make these little canister things that you can throw your line in, but they're tough to use, and a lot of times because you have to like stuff the line in there, and it's like a little rubber thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times the line just falls back out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they're just not designed quite right. So
I need to get one of those because I just put my line like in my pack, and it can be chaos. You
get back at the end of the day and it's everywhere.
Or if you forgot to take it off, it's like in the zippers and everything.
Yep. I had some line get stuck in my Mesa zipper, and it zipper hasn't worked the same ever since.
It's hard to get out.
It is. Yeah. So anyway, that's BioTip. It's a cool company. They got stuff available. It's really, they have limited weights right now. It looks like, they have, actually, I guess they got basically all the way they have from 3 pound to 11 pound test.
Oh, cool.
Definitely going to have to try some out. And it's not very pricey.
What is the price?
$12.99 for a spool, which if you're getting the good stuff, a lot of the good tippets, $15, $16. So got to try it out though, to see if it's, if it breaks off right away, then, might not be
That's
worth
one
it,
thing
but
I think we've talked about because we store a lot of our fishing stuff in the car, that like the fluoro and mono kind of seems to get worse in the heat. Yeah. So I wonder if it's the same with that.
Yeah, you got to replace it like every season. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if that is if it takes a little bit more. or like if it degrades a little bit quicker, or if it's very similar. But it is low vis. It seems like it's got kind of seems, just based off of reading it, it's kind of in between mono and fluoro, just with like how it kind of absorbs shock and and doesn't absorb water. But really cool idea. Shout out to the company out of Grand Junction. Yeah, good stuff. All right, we're gonna get on to interview with Caleb Hobbs from Ursi Gear. Again, thank you guys for sticking with us, and you're going to really enjoy this episode. I highly encourage you to go, if you guys are hunters, especially bow hunters. This jacket that I've been running for the last few months is specifically designed for bow hunting, and I think I try to be pretty critical of gear, and as we talked about earlier, I'm not always the easiest on it.
Yep.
But it really does make a lot of sense. It's a really cool jacket. He's got awesome other products on his website and some cool stuff coming out. So check him out, Caleb from Ursi Gear. Enjoy the interview. Peace. All right, today on the Seek Outside podcast, we have Caleb Hobbs from Ursi Gear. I met Caleb at a trade show earlier this year, and we were kind of just chatting gear, and you were looking at our Cimarron that we had set up. It was actually at the Colorado Bowhunters Association banquet there in Fort Collins there, and I saw you had a pretty slick looking jacket, and I walked over there and you gave me the full rundown, and I was like very intrigued. I was like, oh man, never heard of you guys. Gotta learn more about this. I got the jacket. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was like turkey season, so I only got to take it out a couple times, but I freaking love that thing. I ran it on a backpacking trip this last weekend too, just as a extra piece of insulation. But anyway, before we get into that, I want to give an introduction. Caleb Hobbs, Ursi Gear, take it away, man.
Yeah, man, Ryan, thanks for having me. I enjoyed chatting with you at the shows. Seen you at a couple now, but that first one where we met, it was great. Obviously, we're both kind of gear junkies. You're doing what you're doing. I mean, you wouldn't be where you are if you weren't a gear junkie. So we kind of clicked right there. And then we went into the dive on everything gear. And that's my thing. So background, just myself. I've been in the outdoor industry since 2012. My twin brother and I, Brandon, have been running a small archery pro shop since 2012. It had been heavily buried on the back end of the industry, kind of quiet, but just doing our little thing in the wings for quite some time now, 13 years. So, I'm a dealer for some major archery brands, and I'm an archery nut through and through. So I've always been kind of wrapped in on the technical side. That's kind of where my brain goes. It's a gear, what's the solution type thing is where I'm always working. And the reason I mentioned the archery shop is that's the relationship, or that's what kind of drove me into a relationship with a couple other individuals in the industry, to where we got into what is now Ursi Gear, the clothing side of things. And that took years and years and years to meet certain people. And through archery stuff, met who is now a current partner, and he's like, hey man, I've been trying to get into clothing, I'm doing this and that, and he showed me what he's doing, and he was our sourcing guy through and through, and I knew nothing about sourcing. Like I'm the technical guy. Like if you want to lay out a pants design, call me up. If you want to lay out pockets on a jacket we'll get into, call me up, and I'm going to talk about the material, the whole deal, right? And he said, hey, I'm looking for a partner, and I got a couple other guys, and he's like, would you hop on and be, the technical guy, I guess? I said, yeah, 100%, man. Anything I can do. Because, like, first and foremost, I mentioned archery, but I'm a hunter, period. I am a hunter, period. No matter what. And I'm a hunter in front of every crowd. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, that's my way of life. That's how I was raised. I'm going to mention my twin brother a lot because he's very important along the whole journey with all of this. We're in it for the hunt. We're in it for the outdoors. But we always fall back on the solution thing again, right? So when he gave me that opportunity to hop on board as a partner, and he said, "You have carte blanche on design. Tell me what you want." I was like, "Yes, let's do this." So we went full steam, man. I live in Colorado. That's how you and I met. I'm Colorado native, born and raised. I've known the Seek Outside name. I lived in Grand Junction for a while, actually. So
nice.
I've known Seek Outside for as long as, forever, as long as they're doing stuff. And the other partners are kind of scattered. We got one in Golden, Colorado. We have one in Las Vegas, and we have one in Pocatello, Idaho. But we come together and we all have our roles. The one guy's our sourcing guy. The one guy's our kind of sales lead. I do design, and then our other guy does books. So we kind of all just fall in and do this thing. But they like to throw me out in front as the face of the company. I feel sorry for them, but it's a pretty rough face for the company. But I'm the tech guy, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
And so we're 3 years to the public, or in year 3 to the public.
Okay.
Currently.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people don't know. Like, where'd you come from? How long you been doing this? So year 3 sales to the public. Year 5.5 or 6 with Ursi as a company.
Okay. So
in development.
A few years of just designing gear. I kind of want to get into, I think you guys take a unique approach, right? I mean, you see nowadays there's, especially with camo clothing, there's a lot of people and look, I'm not trying to disparage anybody. Everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their unique approach. But a lot of times people will come out with a specific camo that they like, right? They'll be like, "Oh, this camo pattern is better than everybody else's." Or they'll come out with like one little feature that might be a little bit different, or a different fabric. At least for your jacket, which I think I am fair to say maybe your flagship product, that jacket, the bow hunting jacket that you kind of designed, it kind of hit all 3 elements are different. So obviously, you guys have a different camo, which I want to touch on. I really like. If anybody's not watching, we're going to be showing off some gear on the YouTube here, so make sure you tune into the YouTube. You'll be able to see kind of the things that we're talking about. But you guys have a different camo. The thing that I like about your camo is that it's more like for people that aren't just a one specific type of hunter, right? If you're a bow hunter, a rifle hunter, a small game hunter, the seasons change, the elements change that you're going to be in. You need a camo pattern that, and unfortunately there's not a one size fits all, but what I like about yours is you do have a lot more pattern breakup in that you have the bigger parts of light. You see some camo patterns and they have the light sprinkled in there, but yours has big spots, which for me, anytime I go out duck hunting or goose hunting or something like that, that's the one thing I notice about any camo pattern that's more designed for, early season, is they're just all dark, right? So I like that. You guys also have some different types of materials and kind of like some blends that I'll let you get into. And then you also took the element of new feature sets, right? So you have some very different components to your jacket. So that's why I think that you guys are innovating in a great way. You didn't just say, "Hey, we got this camo pattern, we're going to sell clothing, throw it out there." So I love that about you guys.
Yeah. No, good to jump in. So, like the first 2 years, we had, I guess, in 100% transparency, we hired an artist to develop a camo pattern who does this for a living. He has major patterns on the market that have made billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Everyone listening to this will recognize some of the patterns this gentleman has designed. We hired him. Contract, cool, good. We got a pattern. And initially, we were so pumped just to get something on the market that we did go your baseline generic. So I had a basic pant. We had a basic soft shell jacket. We had a basic puffy vest. And we went gangbusters, put everything on it. I mean, everything in. Bam, we're doing the deal. Products arriving. We're taking pre-orders, tens of thousands of dollars of pre-orders. And then, boom, we get a cease and desist. Before we fully opened to the public. This was, what, 5-6 years ago now.
Wow.
And I don't know about you, but I don't have a couple $100,000 in my back pocket to go to court. Yeah.
If I did, I wouldn't be going to court. I would be stopping what I'm doing and going on another caribou hunt or something like that.
Exactly. We'd be
going
across
to Thailand.
the world. Yeah, we'd be hunting like ibex or something in a foreign country, man.
Exactly.
But, so it buried us, and we pretty much closed the doors.
Wow.
And it was absolutely devastating. Like we all lost everything because this is a personally funded project. There's not an investor. It's us. It's our wallets. And we lost everything, and we were told we could fight it and win, but it cost, roughly $150,000, and well, we didn't have it. So we folded, and 8 months later, I guess, we kind of got together and were like, hey, let's develop a new camo pattern and see what we can do. And so the guy said, yeah, Caleb will do that. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that. So it was me and our graphic artist. He has not developed camo patterns. It's the two of us. And me traveling, I have photographs like you wouldn't believe that I've just laid out. And working with him and going through aspects. You mentioned large, you mentioned small, micros, macros. I've been doing this long enough to know the components needed to be successful. When I get into something, I research 100%, and it's just deep dive. And so I matched the science, and we kept going and going and going. And he'd send me an iteration, and I said, no, I want what I would call a shading aspect here, here, here. And he'd send a new reiteration back, and finally we got it, and we put it out on forums because we're not looking to get in a lawsuit again, right? So we put it out on forums before we ever launched, and we asked the public, straight up the public, thousands in front of tens of thousands of people, what does everyone think? And it was smash. You guys nailed it. Right now, you have to do something. And that led to one specific individual seeing it, which started the journey down to our next sourcing, products manufacturer, the whole deal. And I knew we had something, and I told the group, I said, we're not going to go generic. Now that we know we don't have a generic camo pattern, I refuse. If we're going to find money and scoop in, we will do our thing, period. We're not getting a regular soft shell jacket. We're not getting a regular top, it's not going to happen. And they said, you just, whatever you say. Like, okay. And that was a full year and a half in development before we ever even, it was 2 years after that before we even opened to the public. And it was just running and gunning product development with an amazing company, design company, and me with my freak gears turning all the time and waking up at 2 a.m. for the watch sleeve was a 2 a.m. deal. Bolt up right in bed, you know?
Yeah.
And, and then we just went.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I love hearing that about that story, just about how, you know, I don't know. I just feel like that's how the best stuff always happens is you had this massive failure or I guess you'd have to call it a failure, right? I mean, you probably put tens of thousands of dollars into inventory that you couldn't sell that was just sitting there, had to burn it essentially. And then that was the catalyst. All right, you know what? Screw this. That's how so many awesome like musicians, companies, artists get started is that exact same thing where they're like, you know, they get lulled into just doing what everybody else does, and then something like that happens and they have to shift gears. So that gets me juiced up, man. That tells me that you're headed in the right direction, because you guys are a smaller company. I was checking out Instagram. You got 2,000 followers, but going to these shows, I can already see, like, when I go to your booth, you guys already have like the customers that are like, oh, you know, I love this. I love you guys. I love your stuff, and they already have their success stories, and so that's good to hear. I want to get onto some of your specific products though. So, and I'm talking about. So you have a grid fleece, which love. A couple of the guys in the office have them. Let's see what else. We got a bunch of hats. We all got some hats from you, which I love.
Got the waffle grid fleece there.
Yep. Waffle grid fleece.
Year round.
3/4 zip. Got the big front pocket there. And Caleb showing this in the video here. But the jacket, because that's the thing that I've been running the most. Kind of explain to me the process of designing that, where it came from. It's obviously built for bow hunting, but explain to me how you got to some of the specific features that you have on there. Yeah. So that was my flagship, my passion project item. We went a little lighter on some of the tops and stuff, design aspect wise. And my partners just said, just do it. And I tend to get in so deep that I keep finding, well, I want to add this. Well, I want to add this. Well, I want to add this. And, I ended up just running with it. Like, it didn't matter the cost in development. It didn't matter that it took a full year and a half to have the finalized product, which still, by the way, I want to tweak. But it was this jacket, and I'll put mine on and we can kind of see it for everybody, because honestly, like when I had you in the booth, it was the same thing. You're like, okay, it's hanging on a hook here. And we talk about it, and I point out this, and this. But then you put it on, and you feel the cut, and you feel the different materials, and you put your hands in the pockets where they're located, and so on and so on, and it just goes click. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow. So where it came from was me, my twin brother, and our buddies were lifelong backcountry archery elk hunters. Period. Like, no matter what happens every year, I've quit extremely high-paying jobs because they try to schedule me during September. Right? I've heard that story before doing this podcast.
Yeah, man. It's a real thing, man. Like,
don't touch
September.
1
month out of the year.
Yeah.
Yep, that's 1 month out of the year. You can have all the other months.
Yep.
So we've spent so many, not even hours, you can't even qualify hours, weeks and weeks and weeks in the woods carrying around junk or whatever was available. And of course, we started with Walmart backpacks and worked our way all the way up to, you name any top brand, I either own it or have owned it. And, your kit and your gear goes as you learn. It works on up, same as your guys' shelters. Like, some dude's going to buy a 2-person tent from Walmart first, and then they're going to end up calling Ryan down the road a couple years later, like, dude, hook me up,
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the gear. So for me, I immediately saw holes in design of every single jacket I've ever put on in the woods. And yes, before anybody jumps in, I have used all the major brands. So between me, my brother, my two buddies, every single brand, like we've put our hands on, we've run, we put a pack over the top on, we've hiked miles with it, we've busted brush with it, the whole deal, right? So I just see shortcomings and my mind clicks into solution mode. How can I fix the shortcoming? So the premise of it is I call it almost a hybrid style jacket in that it's similar to a vest, but it's still full coverage, full sleeves, full deal. And we can, I don't know if you want to have me pop one out here, but I haven't, but
do it.
I'll kind of talk through it.
Yeah, definitely.
Throw mine on here. Yeah.
And
the idea,
we can insert some other video, during the podcast here too. So some close-up stuff.
So the idea is I wanted a jacket that you could throw on in the morning. We all know September is a warm month, but it's 20 degrees in the morning. If you're hunting high country, you're doing the deal. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that it's 70, 80 degrees later in the day, you're still going to freeze your butt off in the morning. So all we'd ever do, we'd layer up and we'd hike, and within 10 minutes outside of camp, you're layering down. And sometimes if you got your kit right, depending on the season and jacket, you make it till about 9 a.m. and then you're like, okay, I gotta layer down and do the deal. So I wanted something extremely functional across a lot of temperature ranges, something that allowed the body to self-regulate through those temperature swings where you didn't have to take it off, and then something that would fit with kit, meaning a pack and bino harness specifically. There's so many jackets out there that are amazing jackets. Like, so many companies make such good stuff. Like, I cannot dog any of it at all. It is excellent, high quality. And then you throw a bino harness on and you cover everything up that's a feature, or you throw your pack on and your back just pours sweat because it's still a soft shell on the back and you still have insulation on the back. So like one simple thing is we're just insulated through the torso here in the front, come down to the elbow and only on the outside of the arm, not the inside. That insulation stops right there, vest style. It stops right at the shoulder line at the seam right there. Mm-hmm. So the back is not insulated, but I kept a full ripstop, lightweight, breathable ripstop going down the back. So you will sweat less with your pack on. Mm-hmm. People forget that a pack is an insulation layer. And you actually should be planning. I think a lot of people fail at this. You should be planning to use your pack as an insulation layer if you are indeed a backpack hunter.
Dude, that's such a good point. And even just like using hiking as an insulation layer. Yeah. Actually, I'll let you kind of finish and then I'll go into my experience with it here.
Sure. Yeah. So that was huge. Was like, I wanted to, we body mapped that is what I did. And I lined it out exactly where it needs to be. Your forearms aren't going to freeze to death. I promise you. You have a long sleeve, lightweight, like I was just wearing, a lightweight long sleeve that covers your arms. Your torso's capturing the heat that it needs to. Your pack is able to breathe, but you're still holding in whatever heat you need to on the back with your pack in the early mornings. And then we branded premium. So this is Primaloft Gold insulation. I went very light. It's only 100 grams. It's not this big puffy. I mean, you can probably tell from the video, it's not this big puffy thing, but specifically chose what is called Active Plus. So there's all these different kinds, right? There's down alternatives. There's athletic or sporting types. So this is an athletic or sporting type of insulation. So meaning it's actually made to get wet, and it's made for perspiration. So it'll pull off your body and it'll expel out the front. So we use a little micro dot ripstop, so it actually breathes out through. So even if you're hiking and sweating, you'll find like soft shells or other jackets that have quote unquote storm barriers or whatever. You just feel that nasty funk on the inside. That's just bottled in there. It doesn't matter what vents you open. It doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to get rid of all the funk, you know? You have to peel stuff off, and it's like you're living in Houston, Texas in the middle of July, man. It's terrible, you know? So we remedied that with this. Just that regulating portion. Your body does all the work, and then there's mesh panels the whole other way. There's no insulation underneath your armpits. And on your sides. There's nothing. It's a mesh panel. It allows air to move through the whole time, whether you use the vent or not. And so I call it the jacket for the active hunter, whether you're rifle hunting or bow hunting. Now, it does have bow hunting features, yes, like when I slim down the insulation in the forearms, so you're not getting in the way of string, when you're coming to draw and doing the deal. And it is cut. I think you can attest to this, the cut through the shoulders and the elbow, the articulation. A lot of guys are like, oh man, I don't like wearing jackets. I try and go as light as possible because I feel my elbows bunch or my shoulders bunch when I draw. Man, this thing is it's like pajamas, man. It moves. It is cut specifically for that articulation, that movement. That was actually cut in the design process. When I was working with this designer, I went through motions, actual archery motions on video, and he goes, okay, and he's mapping the deal out, and it does, it works, man. It's made to move.
No, I think when I got it right, so every time the world is a sales place. That's just what it is. Everybody's trying to sell you on something.
That's how we make money.
Exactly. As good of a company as somebody is, it's just a fact that, like, sometimes the features that they claim aren't all that's made up to be, right? I mean, and I will say first off, like, we have a great relationship with some other camo companies. Awesome. There's all sorts of awesome stuff. We've also messed around with like prototype fabrics for clothing and stuff at Seek Outside. When I got your jacket, and I've talked about this on the podcast before, Alpha Direct stuff. When I first tried that on, I was like, this is the greatest material. Like, this is what it's made out to be, right? This fabric, like, they make these claims, and it is what they said it would be. I got the same thing with your jacket, right? Because you go somewhere, you first meet a person and you're like, oh, all right, there's these features. We'll see how it actually works when you get it in the field, because it doesn't always work out that way. When I put that jacket on and I was turkey hunting with it, and just on this recent backpacking trip, I had that same feeling where it's like, all right, this is what it's supposed to be. The pocketing, you have 3 different pockets on the front there. They were perfect for, use with the bino harness. I loved it because you have different fabrics on the inside too, on a couple of the different pockets. So, like with turkey hunting, if you have a slate call, you want it. You don't want like a super soft thing just soaking up all the crud on there, because that's what makes the sound. So I was like, all right, I can put this in this pocket up here. It's super close, it's tight, and I can pull it out, and it works every time. Which sometimes if I put them in my pant pockets, the fuzzy stuff on the inside there makes it so that you have to condition your call. So I had that. I also wore that thing from basically, 6 in the morning when it was 25 degrees to all the way till noon when it was, 70 degrees. And I didn't take it off. I didn't take any layers off, which I was shocked by. That was kind of the same reaction I had to the Alpha Direct, the insulation layers. But I obviously like the fit of that thing way more. It articulates a lot more. The heat, I mean, it was just like I said, everything worked as it was supposed to work, which was awesome. So I definitely applaud you on that. You could tell there was a lot of thought that went into it. No, I will say the one thing I had the first time I put it on was I accidentally put my hand through the watch hole there, and I was what is going on here? And then I figured that out. But aside from that, no complaints, man. It's a good jacket. I'm excited to use it for for bow season, because that's you put so many miles on during turkey hunting, but elk season's a whole different ball game.
Oh man, yeah, it changes. Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear. You mentioned, I really like that you mentioned when you layered down like at noon.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention that. So we live by the watch in the woods, because that's the only way you can get baselines,
mm-hmm.
For animal life or whatever. It's all about checking when things happen and if you're fitting into that flow. And so I used to average layering down at 9 a.m. That was the set average,
yep.
Period. My average with this coat, once I started hunting it, which has been 4 years now, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, no,
that's unreal.
The insulation part worked so much more effectively than I thought it was going to be. Because you're like, all right, well, it's you don't think of insulation as being, because what you said about your forearms freezing to death, that is 100% true. If you're ever on a glassing knob and your forearms are getting cold, you might have to go to the hospital because you got something else wrong with you. It's not that you're cold, because like that is where it starts. Like, and you even know when you're in a sleeping bag, right? Your kind of chest area starts getting cold and you shiver up. You're never like, dang, my forearms or my my shoulders are cold, or the bottom of my back. It's always the torso area right there where you have the insulation. And I liked it too because the fabric that you have on that area is less, like, I guess, permeable than what you have on the sides there. So when you start walking, you're sweating, you can kind of dry out more so than you can with the more heavy, I guess, the more permeable, less permeable materials that go all over.
Yeah, for sure. So. Yeah, absolutely, man. It really does it. I'm super happy with how that turned out. There's so much more function to this thing. Like, that's like a little piece of it. I've been told there's too much in that it spins customers' heads, and that maybe you need to tone it down. And I'm like, yeah, but this is the ultimate. You know? You mentioned that.
I would say you're like, it's not like your prices are any higher than any of the other premium jackets. It's like, no. So why would you tone it down if you can add all these functions to it? Because another thing that we didn't even talk about was the hood, right? I mean, that was another thing I noticed.
Oh, that's my baby.
The turret hood, but it's kind of cut out so that you have peripheral vision, which is huge.
Yeah, and not only that. So like I've worn so many hoods, and I have a love-hate relationship. I think every elk hunter, if you're an archery elk hunter, so close-range elk hunter, you're probably going to tell me that you hate a hood, but that you want to wear a hood quite often. But most guys, whether it's me, my brother, we're just like, once it goes up, you're like, I can't hear, I can't see, and it doesn't matter if it's like -50, you're taking the hood off. Mm-hmm. So you can hear and see. So that was a huge deal for me. So we got this bad boy. I don't know if you'd be able to tell in the video, but just for noise gathering, sound gathering. So I only took the insulation through the mohawk.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing over the ears.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a soft knit on the inside to where the heat and the feel and the heat transfer still occurs over your ears. But with that soft knit and just that dot air, face fabric, you pick up everything.
It's crazy because that's another thing where you're like, there's no way that that's actually going to make a difference, but it did. Like because I always wear like a merino base layer usually, and I was listening because like, whenever I take out a new piece of gear, I'm trying to like compare, like, you know, see what the features that I am going to use and what I'm not going to use are. And so I was paying extra attention to that because you had told me about it at the show. And I was listening, and I was like, you know, we're obviously turkey hunting, same kind of thing. You want to be able to hear everything. You want to be able to hear a hen cluck. And I had you know, I've always just been a merino hood guy. Like that's in the morning, throw that over the hat. I threw your hood on, your jacket on these last couple trips, and it was definitely a difference. Like you could actually hear it's not everything, you know, because you can hear some stuff through wool or other fabrics, but it's like muffled, so you can't hear the crispness, and you can't hear the direction from which it's coming, right? Which I noticed for sure with that hood, you had a little bit more sense of direction of where a sound was coming from.
Yep, that, and you already mentioned peripheral. This was 3 different cuts to get. You can see from the side profile. You can see my eye from the.
Yep.
So you're still fully protected over your ears, but I have the full peripheral that I would have without a hood on. And not only that actually helps for sound gathering too. Yeah. Because you're opening up more space around your head to bring it in. So yeah, that was. And for guys that don't like it, just zip it off.
Yeah, that's another good point. Yeah, you can take it off. Yeah. Well, and so I will also say because we definitely have a good amount of people that listen that aren't hunters, right? They're just general recreationalists. I feel like because I'm a big hunter, I tend to talk about it more so. But you know, we have people in Sweden and France. Shout out to you guys for listening. I see the stats on there, but I would argue that this is great for the reasons that we've already talked about. It's a great just walk around. You know, obviously it's camo, but it's a good looking camo. It's not like I had a friend that just moved to town here, and I wore it over to his house because I skateboarded over to his house, and I was like, it's, you know, perfect weather to give this a rip, and this will be able to test the wind and the, you know, the ventilation and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, dang, man, I like that jacket. That's sick." And he's not a hunter or anything like that, but it's you know. So I would argue that it's a good, just general recreation jacket as well.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, I've been told by some backpacking and honestly the ultra marathon running industry that if I actually wanted to be serious about business, I would make this in a solid color. Because I would sell 100-fold in those outlets outside of the hunting outlet. I have a really good friend who's an ultra marathon runner, and his wife runs professionally. Mm-hmm. She's a sponsored ultra runner. Nice. She's not a weekend warrior. It's the real deal. Yeah. And she trains in this jacket in the cold months. Mm-hmm. And says it is the single best training jacket for cold months that she's ever found. It hits everything where it needs to. It has full fluid movement. It's non-restrictive. And so she lives in Wyoming. It's not like she's running around the city training. Yeah. This is out in the elements training year round, and it's this jacket. Ice climbers, rock climbers, backpackers, huge. I've talked to hardcore backpackers that once I go through where the mapping is on everything, done. Yeah. Sold. Well, do you have it in? No, I don't. Hey, call me when you do. Nice. You know?
Well, and that is a big thing, especially for if you're trying to save weight, because I mean, like a lot of the ultralight backpackers, their puffy down insulation system will be in substitute of their of like having a thicker, heavier sleeping bag. And that, I mean, the places, just to go back to the sleeping bag thing, if you have the first time you get cold, once it hits 2-3 in the morning, if you get that cold breeze coming into your sleeping bag, it's always the chest. So if you can have a little bit of insulation there, but that I would guess is a lot lighter than your average soft shell, and probably synthetic down insulation layer.
It falls right in between for weight wise, in between the down types and the soft shells. It's right in the middle for weight.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool, man. No, it's a great jacket. I love it. Let's get on to some other stuff, man. What's kind of give us the rundown on some of your other features of some of the other products.
Last thing I'll mention is the watch access.
Yeah. You got to show people.
It's befuddled a lot of people, and I have not. This was not set up for the video or anything, but as an elk hunter, I don't want my watch face glaring out there while I'm calling in a bull to 20 yards, right? I had an experience with my brother where I blew a bull out straight up with the reflect. I saw the reflection of my watch hit him right between the eyes. Really? At 30 yards, and that thing was gone. So, wow. And this will be for rock climbers, mountaineers. I asked a professional rock climber in British Columbia, one of the epicenters of climbing in the entire world, how he checks his GPS. What do you do? Well, we take all of our gloves off, we take all this crap off, we do this, do that, and then we roll our sleeve back, and you look at it, and I said, how about this? So this is a double cuff. You're outside, all you do is grab your outside, turn it. You got an access panel right on the inside, lay it back over. That's it. You don't take your gloves off. That sleeve is set. Now, I've wore this jacket 1,000 times, so it probably feels me. But when you first put it on, you'll set that hole over the top of your watch like that, and you're done. Yeah. And it's done.
And you can even do that with like thick. I have a pair of like Carhartt leather gloves that I just take with me for messing with the stove and stuff like that. You can do it with that because I am always checking the time on my watch and stuff like that. And I always have to hit the button, right? And sometimes that can be difficult with other, clothing systems. With that one, you just pull it back, hit the button. I can see the time. You're good to go. So that's a good point. And it's on. Is the watch? Is it on? Yeah, it's on both sides because I wear my watch on the right hand side, and it's always there. So yeah, that's good. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean we have a full line. The jacket's not my only product. We go from pants all the way up through jackets. We have one pant right now. It's a medium weight, kind of a do-all every season type of pant. If you're wearing it in the middle of winter, you better layer up, fair warning. But it is light enough where you can wear it antelope hunting in August in 98 degree weather and still be fine. Open up your side vents. I wholly and truly call them my hunting pajamas. They are that comfortable. When you put them on, I had what's done, it's called peaching on the inside. So it's one fabric, but on the inside is peached to soften it up against the skin. So you still have that durable layer on the outside. And it is like, man, it's pajamas. You're just floating around in those things. It's unreal. So we have that pant. A lot more people now that we're getting, people are hesitant on getting pants. Always. Pants are very difficult because I don't know about the fit. I don't know if, when I step over logs with X pant from X manufacturer, it binds up in the crotch and da-da-da-da-da. Man, this last year I finally started getting people into the pants, and they're going, why didn't you tell me about these 2 years ago? Well, I did, but you were just hesitant, Yeah. We've always had them. So we have that pant. I will expand on that in the future once we start turning some more sales. But for now, that's our do-all. And then we got a full line of tops. This is just a regular long sleeve lightweight. They're very lightweight. These are a polyester blend. We went polyester on a lot of our stuff, not everything, for quietness. And I think you can attest all of our stuff's very quiet.
Yeah.
We have some on and some other things, like we have a puffy vest, but we have regular short sleeve, regular long sleeve. We got a quarter zip long sleeve, if you like the quarter zip with a chest pocket. And then we got the old Ninja hoodie, which I 100% live in this thing all season long. So it's kind of a hybrid. So it's a lightweight hoodie. And then you'll see on the sides and underarm is mesh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Knit for breathability. So that's straight up jersey mesh, lightweight hoodie. You got a kangaroo pouch, and it has a built-in neck gaiter.
Yeah.
That thing is on me year-round.
And so I got one of those too. I love that thing. Forgot to mention it. I also have I think it's the Sitka something alpha, but anyway, it has the Ninja face piece there.
Yeah.
The thing I like about yours is that it's sewn into the front there. Like a lot of the other ones, the Ninja portion is sewn into the hood so you can take it off, which is nice, you can ventilate yourself. But I mean, a lot of times you just need to throw that face covering up real quick. And if it's behind your hood and you're like trying to like slip it over your hat and you got to take all this stuff up, whereas yours, it just pops up and you can actually roll it down pretty well close to your neck to get some ventilation in there too.
Yeah, it does. It comes down really good. Even in the super hot months, I did a stint as wildland firefighter, and you learn about heat control and body temperature, and you're doing that. It's 110 degrees outside first. And then you're on flame front second, right? So what people struggle to understand, and even in my current real job, temperature control, you should be covered up.
Yeah.
You do not want skin exposure. And the great thing about like that built-in hoodie, I'm wearing it in 100 degrees, and that neck gaiter's still stacked there. The material we used is so breathable, it'll actually help you soak up some of that sweat a little bit. You're not going to sit there and just dog out and die in it, Mm-hmm. Once you understand how to actually regulate your body temperature the correct way, first of all, you need to be hydrated. I think most people forget that. So then they chase these ups and downs. Then it's like, I'm so hot, I need to be down to just a t-shirt. No, you don't need to. Guys that work outside in the desert are head to toe covered all the time. True.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
It's the skin exposure. So you can still regulate temperature with the right materials on your body and how you layer.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to pay attention to it as you move through the day. So that hoodie's great for it. And that's also why we did the full mesh underarm all the way down the side, is to allow that to breathe out, because we know you're going to be wearing it during hotter months anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a cool little one. That's my go-to. Then we mentioned that grid fleece.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's just, so we brought that grid fleece, and we brought a solid tan synthetic, using Primaloft Gold again, puffy vest, because of concerns with some customers want go late season with our jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Full transparency, this is not a winter coat. Like if you think you're going to put it on and go sit in a blind in December or a tree stand in December, please don't call complaining, because I got news for you. You got to layer with that when it comes to static situations.
Yeah.
So we can do our puffy vest layered with that coat, or that grid fleece if you want full coverage layering underneath that jacket. Plus these lightweights, that's all you need all day, all season. Yeah,
yeah. Well, I will say, like with the jacket, I mean, you throw something a little bit heavier underneath if you have again, I'll go back to the alpha, but if you have a alpha, 110 20 or 90 grain underneath layer, bottom layer, I would venture, and I haven't had it long enough, but I would venture if you're an active hunter, you could take that out and, 20, 15, 10 degrees even, and be all right, as long as you're moving around. And then, if you carry around a little bit heavier puffy, I think that would be probably all that you would need for that type of thing. I mean, I've here in Colorado, it can be 20 degrees out during, third, fourth rifle, in the middle of the day, but you're hiking up something steep and it's hot, and you'll be in your base layer. So but yeah, the static thing, it's like, for duck hunting, it's tough because we go into spots where you have to usually hike into, so you can't be wearing like your big puffy jacket to start with. But I always throw I have a Sitka, I think it's called like the Furnace. It's like the crazy whitetail.
Oh yeah.
It's just like makes you look like a freaking Oompa Loompa or the kid from Christmas Story, but it is so warm. It's like
those are
perfect for
cool.
ice
Yeah,
fishing
that's a
and
sweet
stuff.
piece.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, no, I think it's got a lot of use cases, that jacket, and obviously the other gear as well. There's all the different base layers that you have, and you can just tell a lot of thought went into kind of everything, and you can tell it's made by a gearhead, that's for sure. So it's good stuff,
it's
man.
Made to hunt.
Yeah.
And it's made to train in. I think you've seen some of my the posts or whatever I put up, like that. I go to the gym in this exact shirt and my short sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
I wear my my plate carrier. I did the Murph with this short sleeve shirt on. Like, it is extremely athletic. So it's not, don't just pull it out in August, September, November. Like, you get the short sleeve, and if you want it for training, size down a size, get a good, nice tight fit, throw your weight vest on, throw your pack on, pound some ground, man, run some miles. I have got zero hot spots or any type of chafing or anything, plate carrier, pack, or otherwise, with any of our lightweight shirts. Like, I highly recommend, if you're hitting the gym or any kind of training, getting ready, daily life, get these lightweights. Yeah. That's it. My twin brother runs in his hoodie in the colder months. His hoodie's on every single day, and he leaves out his front door and he does a few miles, 3, 4, or 5, whatever, and he's in the hoodie the whole time, period. The lightweight hoodie. You can keep it up, keep you insulated still, the hood a little bit, but it breathes out while you're hauling ass down the road. So
yeah, I mean, you don't need much when you're being active. You really don't. I mean, that's just a fact. Cool, man. Well, I kind of want to shift gears here. So I have a few questions that I try to touch on with everybody. And I didn't give you these beforehand, so they're going to be kind of a pop quiz.
I'm curious.
Here. But before we get done here, number 1, dream trip. Hunting, it could be or just recreation, whatever you want, but what's kind of your bucket list trip?
Holy cow. Two come to mind, and one in particular that has been my number one since I don't even know how far back it goes. Like, this came to me when I was so small, and it's been with me my entire life, and I still haven't done it. And that is Kodiak Grizzly with archery.
Yeah,
I might. Kodiak brown bear with a bow has, no matter what, always made the list. And then a couple others that are ever present, and one that's kind of popped up recently. Red stag in New Zealand, I have not done. I think it would just be amazing. And then I want to hit Spain for some of those sheep.
Oh, it'd be so awesome. Yeah.
Man.
So I have a couple buddies that have gone. One in particular, Justin, he's the executive director, I believe, of Alaska Professional Hunters Association. I think that's his title. But anyway, he went over there a couple years ago, and he said it was just awesome. I mean, you're in Spain, tough to beat, but and you get all the culture. I think those European hunts are really cool because you get the culture, get to see the history. They have really cool animals over there. Like I'm a big bird nerd, and I just like the ecology of a certain area. So you see all the cool plants, but you're also getting to do hunting that's very similar. Like I think it would be cool because it's a very similar terrain, especially to here in Colorado, just with like the mountains and kind of the like high desert kind of stuff. So I think that would be awesome. The brown bear, is that kind of why you named the company Ursi? Because that's the Latin name for bear, right? The family name.
Yeah, that's the derivative. It honestly, Jeremy, the partner that reached out and asked if I wanted to hop on board, he'd already had the name, and he's like, he'd had logo, name, and everything, and he said, here's what I want to go with, and we built off of it, and it was there. It works out really cool because we have like the lightweight stuff is the Americanus line, which if you look up subspecies of bears, Americanus is black bear. Mm-hmm. So our heavier like pant is Arctos. So we're categorized.
Arctos?
That's grizzly.
Grizzly. Okay.
So we're categorizing like weights of fabrics and these SKUs through the families.
Yeah.
Bears, which worked out really cool. But no, it was unrelated.
Nice. It's good logo. My second question that I have, it can't be the pander pick of a Seek Outside tent or Ursi gear. A piece of gear that you've used in the last year, outdoor, doesn't have to be hunting, can be hunting, that you thought was just kick ass.
Yeah. Let's see. So I would say my boots is like a huge like blow me away, and they're Lathrop and Sons.
Okay. Huh. Nice.
Custom fit, custom footbed. Life
That's
changing.
a good one. Custom boots,
Life changing, man, and I truly mean life changing because I have nerve damage permanent down my left leg. So very life changing, and Steven and those guys at Lathrop and Sons are amazing to work with, and like that like no matter what, that right there is one of the most incredible pieces of gear I will ever own, period.
Nice. No
matter what. I will say just on recent, we'll say this year, because I'm in something new every year, right? Mm-hmm. Looked at a couple different packs, and I'm impressed with both of them. One of them's the Initial Ascent, and one of them's the IK4 from Exo Mountain. Mm. I've been pretty happy with both of those, running them through the ringers, testing them out. So
nice. Yep. Nice. Yep. Well, we'll have to get you one of ours to compare there.
No. Yep.
But no,
I'll do it. I'll put it ahead, man.
Yeah. I've heard, especially the Initial Ascent, seems to be a very solid pack. So yeah, those are good recommendations. So the boots there, what's the process for that? Because I've heard that brand name before, but I didn't realize. So they're fully custom, like from start to finish, or?
So you can do it. You can just buy their boot if you want. They have a few different models. Just straight up call them, hey, send me a size 10. Cool. They'll ship it down the road. It's an Italian-made boot, top tier, premium, everything. If you're a guy that has experienced boot or foot problems in the past or currently, and you can never find a boot that, like, no matter what boot you own, your heels just slough off the back, or you hot spot on your balls, or you shred your big toe, or whatever. Or in my case, when I called them up, you have an existing injury or condition. That's really the big one. And so if you go that route, you basically sign yourself up for a series of consultations, almost as if with a doctor. And it's mandatory. If you're doing the custom deal, you have to go through the consultations because they want to get it right. So I did multiple video conferences with them. They took down, what type of hunting do you do? How active are you? How much weight will you be carrying on your back? What's your injury? How long have you had said injury? So on and so on and so on. And then they send you a kit that maps your feet. It's a 3D map of your feet. You have to, like, stand on it and trace this and do that and send them reference pictures and all this kind of stuff. And then once it's a minimum of 2 consultations. Once they get your 3D kind of imprint on your foot done, plus they know everything you want to do or do out in the woods, then they recommend a boot, and then they custom build the footbeds that go in it. So I have different footbeds in my left foot and right foot. They are not the same.
That's great. I didn't even know that existed, especially for hunting boots. I mean, that's huge, because a lot of people do have different feet builds. Like I notice in basically every pair of boot that I have, you know, after I break them in, my right foot will always be closer to the end of the boot than the left foot. It's just, you know, I don't know if it's in my stride or what, but you know, I tend to break in one more than the other. So I didn't even know that exists. So that's Lathrop and Sons.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And then they're in Pennsylvania, I think.
Okay.
Very receptive, always excellent on the phone. Guys are bow hunting nuts, so it's cool to talk archery with them. And
nice.
I mean, those guys have been great for me and changed how physically how I've been able to get back out in the woods after my injury.
Nice.
My injury's not going away.
Yeah,
it's not going away. I'm 44 years old. It's permanent. It's there, and so I have to deal with it. And I've put some boots on that are considered extremely top tier, where after 6 hours in the woods, I could no longer walk. And had nothing to do with that boot. Excellent boots. Like, I cannot slam any pair of boots. Every single person's foot is different. So have to get something that fits and works with you. And in my case, I needed something that not just fit me, but was different from foot to foot between my left and my right. So that allows me to be out in the field and pound ground. So
I mean, that's the goal. What happened to get that nerve damage?
I blew out the lowest disc in my back, and it shot me that sciatic on that left side. And so that disc is non-existent, and the nerve damage is permanent. That was like 8 years ago now.
Props to you for still getting after it and packing elk out and stuff, man.
You got to get it, man.
Awesome. Can't let it get you down.
6 days a week, keep the core tight around it so it doesn't fail. And then every once in a while, I just cry to myself a little bit because my left leg wants to kill me. But
yeah. Well, that's a good tip for anybody that might have a similar injury. I mean, you know, get a solid boot. But cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you jumping on here. What's the best way to people can get in touch with you? Do you guys have a customer service line? You guys at shows coming up here?
Yep. So show season over for the year. Thank goodness. I was getting a little bit wore out, but ursigear.com. There's a contact number on there. Generally it hits me direct. So if you have, technical questions, whatever, I'll be the guy you're talking to anyways. I do full transparency in my paying my real job. There will be times when I'm out of pocket a little, but as a team, we'll do our best to get back to you anyways. So yeah, ursigear.com and then Ursi Gear on Instagram. And yeah, we're terrible at the gram. You and I have talked a little bit about, the social media deal, but by golly, if you send us a message, we'll respond on there. We're just terrible at posting. So
there you go. I mean, customer service is so much more important than that's how you get the repeat customers in the long term and the word of mouth. If you have bad customer service, I've seen that with other companies. They don't have the customer service line or whatever, and they're it's not cool. With outdoor gear, you gotta have somebody to talk to, and especially somebody that knows exactly the situations that you might be going through. So that's huge, man. Well, I really encourage people to give them a follow. Go check out the jacket. What was the name of the jacket? It's the
Arctos Stealth jacket. The
Arctos Stealth. Yep. It's in the outerwear section of the website there, so go check it out. Saw you guys also have some other gear, some knives, some awesome knives, some replaceable blade knives, some fixed blade knives. So I encourage everybody to go check out Ursi Gear, Colorado company, very grassroots. Check them out, and I could almost guarantee you, can't guarantee it because you never know. There's always the one person, but you will like the jacket. It's slick, well thought out, works as advertised. So thanks a bunch for jumping on, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, Ryan. I appreciate the opportunity to get on and hopefully spread a little bit of the knowledge out there on this stuff. So
yes, sir. Yeah. Well, and if anybody that's listening goes to shows, make sure you go up to the booth there, and especially with clothing, it's very important to try on. So you'll be able to tell for yourself. You'll see right away the functionality of it. So cool, man. Well, you take it easy, and we'll talk again soon here.
Heck yeah. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.